being a rheumatologist, I do see patients every day who have problems with the immune system. It could be a problem with the lack of immune system or something wrong with the immune system that they have problems. And I do notice that people who have strong spiritual immune system and a strong emotional health, they do much better with their physical illnesses compared to the patients who are weaker in their spiritual immune system or in their emotional health. That gives me a practical proof that how vital is spiritual immune system with regards to emotional and physical health. And given this coronavirus pandemic situation going on currently, we all got so much interested in physical immune system. We are trying to eat very good food, healthy food, and we are trying to search the options how to increase our physical immune system to fight off the virus, to be protected from the virus. So we really have to think about the spiritual immune system also, because if we strengthen our spiritual immune system along with the physical immune system, it will be a double protection for us, because spiritual immune system protects us from emotional illnesses, and it strengthens our physical immune system also. So it's really important. With that, we'll start the webinar today on enhance your spiritual immune system. We'll start with a few minutes of meditation. In meditation, we try to disconnect ourselves from the outer world, and then we try to focus within, and we try to give ourselves some positive thoughts, some positive affirmations. So whatever thoughts we are hearing now, if we visualize them and if we create a picture of those thoughts in our mind and visualize them, then they definitely become real. As we all know, we know that as we think, so we become. So whatever we think, we visualize, we make it happen real. So with that in mind, we'll do a few minutes of meditation before the webinar. I sit comfortably, quietly. I relax my feet, relax my legs, relax my back, relax my neck, relax my face also. As I relax my physical body, I relax my mind also. I let go of any burden, fear, worry that's holding me. For a few moments, I disconnect myself from the external world. I take this golden chance to be with my true self and in the present moment. I focus my thoughts gently in the center of my forehead. I experience this living energy, the point of light, the true myself. I am a being of peace, a being of love. I am the child of the divine. I am a powerful being. My spiritual immune system is strong and perfect. I create an aura of love, peace, and power around me. My emotional health is perfect. No trace of negative emotion can enter the aura of peace, love, and power. I am healthy. My physical health is perfect. Om Shanti. So, as we all know, immune system, in other words, is the defense mechanism for our body. So, the physical immune system protects us against the external agents like bacteria or viruses, anything foreign to the body. That way, it preserves the integrity of the physical body. And the most important thing to notice here is the immune system should be perfect so that it can recognize what is self and what is non-self. What is the self of the body and what is foreign to the body. It has to recognize whatever it is, bacteria or virus or some chemical, as foreign to the body. Then it can fight off that bacteria or virus and protect the body. If it's not able to recognize the self from the non-self, then it cannot protect the body. And the other thing is, if it mistakenly recognizes the self as non-self, then also there is a problem that it can attack its own body. So we'll keep this in mind. The most important function of the immune system, the defense mechanism, is to recognize what is self and what is foreign to the physical body. Similarly, spiritual immune system is of the inner being. It is the inner strength that protects us from negative thoughts and negative emotions and preserves our emotional and physical health. So how do we know if our immune system is working or not? So it's very easy to know a physical disease. As the name itself says, dis-ease. Disease means the body is not at ease. Something in the body is not working right, so the body is not at ease. That we call as disease. So a lack of physical immune system causes disease in the body. Similarly, a lack of spiritual immune system causes a disease in the emotional health and also physical health. So as we said, it's easy to recognize a physical disease because we see the manifestations in the outside body very easily. If we get anything on the skin, or if we get a fever or a cough or cold, we recognize it very easily and we know for sure that it is not something normal for the body. So we take care of it right away because we are able to recognize it very clearly. In the same way, when the spiritual immune system is not working, when there is an emotional illness going on, sometimes we don't recognize that it is an illness. And if we don't recognize that it is the emotional level, then it will manifest as a physical disease also. So a lot of us know and heard and are aware that anger, fear, guilt, depression, sadness, stress, all these are emotional illnesses. But we sometimes don't recognize that, especially when we are under the influence of those emotions, we do not recognize that they are illnesses. We are in a false belief system that they are just normal in that particular situation. So we keep it aside, saying that it's normal, and we don't recognize at that emotional illness level, then it will manifest as a physical illness. And when it becomes a physical illness, let's say if somebody has stomach ulcers, the first thing when they go to a doctor, they say, like, are you stressed out? You have stress at work, or you have stress at family? Those are the first questions they ask before they ask the food for the body also. So it's really important to notice that a lot of these physical illnesses come from the emotional illnesses, and we have to recognize at the level of emotional illness. So that's one of the basic function of the immune system, to recognize it at that level. It has to tell us that, this is not your normal emotion. This is not your normal emotional health. Then we tend to do something to overcome. I'd to request everyone to please mute yourself till the end, and we'll take the questions at the end. So next thing is, this slide shows a lot of negative emotions which lot of us experience at some point of time. So when we are experiencing those, or even before that, we have to ask ourselves, are these negative thoughts or emotions normal? So we'll say absolutely no, right? Now that we are talking about them, all of us will say that yes, these are not normal for us. Absolutely no, these are not normal for us. But when we are under the influence of them, we think like, it is so normal to be fearful in that situation. It's so normal to get angry. It's so normal to get stressed out. But we have to question ourselves that, is it just becoming normal because we are not recognizing the falsely normal thing that's happening, or is it natural for us? So there's a difference between it's normal and it's natural. The natural thing is not that. These are not our original emotions. Our original emotions are completely different. How do we know that? Let's say if somebody is really, really upset or angry, how long can they stay in that anger? An hour, 2 hours, a day? And after that also the person himself feels like, I just want to be peaceful. I just want to be calm. I just want to be happy. Because these are the original emotions. We always go for our original emotions, which are love, peace, compassion, happiness. Those are our original emotions, the natural state of being. So when we are under these negative influence, negative emotions influence, we have to remind ourselves that this is not who we are. And to do that, we need to have a strong spiritual immune system. And I think everyone agrees that we have to have this spiritual immune system strong to help us overcome and to help us prevent from these negative emotions. So how these negative emotions affect us, I think we all know a lot, but to remind ourselves again, we'll go over through that. So the first effect is on the health. and we'll go over that in the next few minutes. The next thing is it has a very bad effect on relationships. If somebody in the family or around us at work is always upset, is always angry, always stressed out, then we don't want to be around themselves. The relationships get affected because they can't trust them always, because their mood is not right always. They can be angry at any time. So the relationships will be affected in the family and at work also. And on the effect on the work, if we don't love what we are doing, and if we don't have that contentment or happiness that we are doing our work, and if it is filled with the anger because of the boss, or because somebody is saying this, because of the colleague dumping the work on the other colleague, if we are under the influence of those negative emotions, even if we are doing work, it won't satisfy us. There'll be a lot of dissatisfaction, and there will be lack of enthusiasm because we're not getting happiness from that work, and there'll be decrease in productivity also because we're not doing it with our full heart and love. So negative emotions definitely affect in the family and at work. And the other thing is, when we are so trapped in these negative emotions, we all say that, I didn't want to do that, but it just happened. I couldn't control that anger. I couldn't control that emotion at that time, or upset or frustration. We feel like a slave of those situations or emotions, instead of we becoming the masters over the situation or the emotion. We feel like we are a slave of those emotions. The minute we tell ourselves that we are getting under the influence of those, or we are becoming a slave of those emotions, that's it, it stops there. Then we can't move forward to get better over that. But the negative emotions trap like that. So we have to make sure that we recognize them and we become a master over them and overcome them. And automatically, when there is a negative emotion so much going on, the space for the positive things like peace, happiness, contentment goes away. So it works vice versa. If we have a lot of peace inside us, if we bring a lot of happiness inside us, contentment inside us, then there will be no space for the negative emotions. So effect on health, again, we all are well aware of how much stress can affect our health, but to reinforce that and to remind ourselves that again, how it can affect the health. So if there are negative emotions and stressors chronically going on, there will be release of a lot of stress hormones from the physical body to try to overcome that stress. But in doing that, those stress hormones can increase the blood pressure, can make the circulation go bad, can increase the inflammation in the body, and they can cause heart diseases. They can cause, if you notice on the slide on the left hand side, every organ in the body is affected by stress. In the brain, it could be simple irritability or mood disorders or mind fog. These days, a lot of people, I'm hearing the word mind fog. I'm very foggy in my mind. I don't know what I'm doing. So these stress hormones over time, they cause all these problems, and they can also cause major problems like stroke because of the blood clots, lack of blood circulation and all, and memory problems. A lot of times these days, younger people are having memory problems because the mind is so full of all these stressful things. And over the heart, it can cause again the same thing because of the lack of circulation, and blood pressure goes up with the stress. They can have heart attacks and blood pressure and heart failure and so on. In the joints and muscles also, because of the stress hormones, there's an increase in inflammation, and that's why the joint gets swollen, the joint gets damaged, the cartilage gets damaged. There will be a lot of pain, decreased in the motion in the joints. They can't do what they want to do. all these things. And a big effect on immune system also. If there is so much stress and if there is weaker spiritual immune system, the physical immune system goes down. Even if we eat lots of good foods which increase the immune system, if the spiritual immune system is not strong, if the emotional health is not strong, definitely the physical immune system becomes weaker and weaker. And it can have the effects on the skin, starting from the hair loss and skin lesions to early aging and a lot of things. And in the gut, it has a major effect. I think a lot of us might have heard from the friends or colleagues ourselves that when we are in stress, our digestive system doesn't work well. They get diarrhea right after eating, or they get indigestion, heartburn, or ulcers. There's so many things that can cause in the gut and can have effect on the reproductive system also. So there's a lot of problem with the stress and these negative emotions. And they also have a thought that some of these emotions can cause some particular diseases. And if you can see, any emotion, negative emotion, will not just stay in that emotion. If we take anger, it can cause hatred, it can cause jealousy, or it can cause many other wrong emotions. It won't just stay at the anger level. So any emotion can cause all of these diseases. But for us to remind ourselves, we can remember that anger, they say it weakens the liver, and grief weakens the lungs, and worry weakens the stomach, and stress weakens the heart and brain, and fear weakens your kidney. And as we said, any of these emotions will lead to the other emotions and can affect all the organs in the body. So it's really, really important to notice that emotional health forms a strong basis for the physical health. And for a good emotional health, we need to have a strong spiritual immune system. So the uses of a strong spiritual immune system, how it helps is, first of all, it helps us to have more positive and focused thoughts. When we are under those negative emotions, the thoughts will be a lot of thoughts, but chaotic thoughts. Don't make any meaning of those thoughts. But a strong spiritual immune system will help us to have more positive and focused thoughts. When our thoughts are focused and positive, we can cope up with any external situation with great stability, inner strength, calmness, and with confidence. So that helps to decrease all these negative emotions like fear, anxiety, worry, and so stress hormones will be decreased when we don't have these negative emotions, and automatically on a physical level it helps prevent blood pressure problems, diabetes problems, heart diseases, strokes, a lot of these problems. And it also increases physical immune system. That way it helps us to be protected from anything, any bacteria, any virus, any external organisms that are foreign to us. So now that we understood that we need to have very strong spiritual immune system, we need to know what is spiritual immune system. And to know that, we need to know who the inner being is, who the soul is. So we can just ask a question to ourselves. Who am I? Am I this physical body? Am I this name? Am I this form that I'm seeing with my eyes? Or am I something different? As you can see in this slide, human being, we call ourselves human beings. It's composed of two words. The word human is derived from the word humus or humus, which literally means soil. So the word human part in the human being is that the body is made up of these five physical elements. The body, the bones, flesh, and the physical organs are made up of these five elements on the earth. And the being part in the human being is the actual living energy, the being that is a point of light, the living energy that resides in this physical body and operates the physical body. The only difference we can see in a living person and a non-living person is that movement. In the living person, the same organs are there. Non-living person, the same physical organs are there, but there's no movement. That is because the living being, the energy, the point of light is missing in that non-living person. Whereas in the living human being, there is the physical body made up of the five elements, and there is this point of light, the metaphysical energy, the living energy in this physical body. So the soul, the spirit, or the inner being, we can call it by any name, the living energy, the soul, or the inner being, or the spirit. So that soul resides in this physical body in between the eyebrows, in the forehead. So that is the place where the soul, the inner being, resides in this physical body and operates. So like a driver and a car, so car is operated by the physical driver. Similarly, this physical body is operated by the inner being, the soul. So we'll take a few moments, a minute, to reflect on this. I sit quietly. I experience my true self, the inner being, the soul, the living energy. I'm separate from this physical body. I reside in this physical body, in between the eyebrows, on the forehead. I am this living energy that operates this physical body. So physical immune system, you all might know this, like in the physical immune system, we all have so many organs that are protecting ourselves from external. It's a beautiful creation, physical body, starting from the skin. Everything tries to protect the body from external agents, whether it could be infections related or chemicals or weather, whatever it is foreign to the body. Starting from the skin. Skin is the largest organ that protects us from so many external things. We all notice that when the skin is damaged a little bit, it's very irritated, we get easily infected, and so it's a great protector. The skin is the largest organ, good protector for us. And starting from the skin, all the internal organs, like there's so many lymphatic organs, bone marrow, and tonsils, lymph nodes, spleen, all these various organs help us to have a strong immune system in the body. Even the mucous membranes in the nose and mouth are so helpful. That's why they say we have to keep it healthy now, so that we can avoid this coronavirus also. If we have strong mucous membranes in the nose and mouth, the virus cannot attack us. So physical body is a beautiful creation with all these organs for our immune system. In a similar way, in the spiritual immune system, the immune system of the soul, the inner being, is composed of a virtues and powers. There's so many virtues that the soul, the inner being has, and so many powers that are there within us, within our true selves, that protect us from all these external negative emotions. So if we water the roots, the nutrition will go into the whole tree. If we water the roots, the nutrition will go into the whole tree and will grow better. But if we water each leaf separately and we forget the roots and we don't water the roots, we don't give the nutrition to the roots, we cannot sustain the whole tree. So it's really important to water the roots for a better tree growth. Similarly, if we strengthen our spiritual, the inner being's immune system, which is the operator for this physical body, automatically we become stronger inside out. So for physical immune system, we do eat a lot of good foods, especially you all might have heard that a rainbow color of foods, the doctor or the nutritionist, everybody tells, everyone knows that, we need to eat rainbow color of foods to have all the essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals for the physical immune system. So especially with this virus thing going on, we all are so much interested in vitamin C, right? They also call it as emergency tablets over the counter. The vitamin C is really important because some of these vitamins, they increase the white cells, some of these, they strengthen the white cells, which are the fighting mechanism for our body. And some of these minerals and vitamins also, they act as antioxidants. They remove the free radicals from the body. You might have heard these things, antioxidants. We need to eat foods with a lot of antioxidants because when the body is cleaning up the negative things in the physical body, there are some things called free radicals that are produced in the body that are harmful for the body. So to clear them, the body needs these antioxidants. So we need to eat a lot of good foods like fruits, vegetables and all. So especially almonds and walnuts, these nuts, they have a lot of vitamin E and antioxidants in foods like broccoli, fresh fruits and vegetables. They are really helpful to remove these free radicals from the body. So it's really important to eat all these good foods to improve our immune system. And coming to the spiritual immune system, the vitamins or the virtues, the original qualities of the inner being act as these vitamins for us. These are also rainbow color of virtues that we have in our immune system, in the soul itself, in the inner being itself. They are powers, peace, love, knowledge, purity, happiness, and bliss. Our inner being has all these values already. They are our vitamins for us. And these are the antidotes for the negative thoughts and emotions. Like antioxidants in the foods, they remove the free radicals that are harmful from the body. Similarly, these are our antidotes for all the negative emotions that can attack us. As you have heard, they say that we have to remove the thorn only with a thorn, like a sharp thing only. Similarly, if a negative thought is trying to come to us, we have to be armed with these positive thoughts and we attack with that negative thought with this positive thought. If anger is going to come to us, we have to remind ourselves that I, the inner being, I am a peaceful being. I am a peaceful being. So anger will go away. So peace is our antidote for anger. So these are our immune system, vitamins, virtues, whatever you want to call, and they act as antidotes for the negative emotions. And as we have been discussing, the most important thing in this is that in the immune system function is we have to recognize the emotional illness as an illness. We cannot say that it is normal. That is the first step we have to do. And if we do a quick comparison here, we'll know how bad they are. Physical disease, we all know. Paralysis means we can't move. We see the physical body, somebody, if they get paralysis, they can't move. Similarly, fear causes analysis paralysis. When we are in fear, we experience so much of negative thoughts. We don't even know that thing will happen or not, but we create all negative things happening. In that analysis, we get paralyzed and we cannot think right. So that causes analysis paralysis. So we really have to get over that fear. Allergy, when we are allergic to grass or pollen or some external things, the effect is on our own body. The external things stay there, but we get affected with allergy, whether it could be breathing issue or rash or eyes itching, things like that happen to us. Same way, if we are allergic to people, we cannot tolerate somebody, we cannot accept some person, means the bad effects are going to be on us only, because all these negative emotions, one by one, anger, hatred, jealousy, will start happening. So we have to realize that is not common. Allergy to people shouldn't be there. And in asthma, we can't breathe. Similarly, guilt is another form of illness, that we cannot love ourselves. We are not able to accept our mistake and move forward. So that's again a major illness. We'll go in the next few slides. In arthritis, we have decreased flexibility of the joints. And when we are stubborn, we feel like we are the right person to do that. Our decision is the right decision. We don't give the importance to others' decisions sometimes. So we have to understand that, we have to be flexible. We can't be stubborn. And addiction, if it's physical, for the food, games, TV, substance, we recognize it easily. But if we just are behind things and things and things and not enjoying the present moment, that's also not a good thing. So we have to realize these emotional illnesses as important as the physical illnesses. So we'll look into the prevention and treatment of some of these emotional illnesses by resetting our spiritual immune system. So we'll begin our journey from illness to wellness. And from this webinar, I really want everyone to take this art of healing. The art of healing is A for aware, R for realize, and T for transformation. So a properly working spiritual immune system makes us aware if something is going wrong with our thoughts or emotions, that they are not normal for us. That's the first step. We have to recognize that these negative emotions are not normal for us. And once we realize the truth for that negative emotion, and the truth of that cause, then we can transform. So I want all of us to practice this art of healing, so we can tackle it from the thought stage itself. It's so important to tackle everything from the thought stage, because they won't be alone. It will come as a team. So the negative thought comes, a negative emotion comes, action becomes negative, and in the memories, there will be a negative memory. And the thoughts will be based again from those negative memories. So if there is a positive thought, there will be positive emotion, positive action, and then positive memory. So please remember this thing, the team of things, the thoughts, emotions, actions, and memories come like a team. So we have to tackle everything from the thought level with this awareness, realization, and transformation. So before we go into any of these emotional illnesses, I want everyone to keep one analogy in mind. If we go out and outside environment is really, really very cold, we take our jacket, we take our gloves, we take our sweater, scarf, everything, and we'll try to protect ourselves. And once we come home, we have our remote control, so we automatically turn on the heat and will stay comfortable inside the home. So external situation, we didn't have a control. We have to protect ourselves with some things, whatever we could do. But as soon as we come inside our home, we have that protection that we can turn on the heater, the AC, the remote we have. Similarly, we'll keep this analogy for any of the negative emotion. We'll go in the next few slides. So when we have fear, we all know that it doesn't come alone. Fear leads to anxiety, panic, worry, tension, depression, all these negative emotions. And if you can see here, it says fear means false evidence appearing real. So we sometimes get fearful over our own shadow itself, and we think that it's more powerful and more stronger than us. In reality, it is not. It is just a false evidence appearing real. So we have to understand fear like that. We have fear of losing something or someone we think is the source of happiness. A lot of times that happens. But as we understood in the earlier slides, that our inner self, the true being, is itself made of love, peace, and happiness. In the bottom slide, it says love, peace, and happiness can never leave you because you are made of it. So the awareness is that it is false evidence. There's nothing truth in it, in the fear, and the truth and the realization is that it doesn't. The love, peace, happiness can never leave us because we are made of them. When we understand our true self, the inner being, the strong inner being, then we don't get afraid of anything external. The eternal being, the soul, is immortal and always healthy and perfect. So we don't have to worry about anything. I'll share quickly a little story here. So there were three saints. One, they got angry and upset at the human beings, and they wanted to hide all this love, peace, and happiness from people to teach them a lesson. So the first one said, I'll hide all these things at the top of the mountain. The second one said, you know what, they can go to Mars also. Do you think they can't go to the top of the mountain? They will. So let's hide it in the depth of the ocean. The third one said, no, you know, they have sonar and everything. They can find whatever is in the depth of the ocean also. The best way to hide them is inside them, because these human beings are trying to look outside always for this love, peace, and happiness, and they'll never find it if you hide inside them and you can teach them a lesson. So it's a joke, they say, but it's a very deep meaning in there, and there's deep truth in that, that love, peace, and happiness can never leave us because we are made of that. So we don't have to fear anything because we are made of these positive things. So the other couple of things we go through is feeling of hurt. Here we have to give a pause and think, is someone giving me the hurt or am I creating the hurt? So in that awareness part, we said awareness, realization, and truth to help us get treated for any emotion. So the awareness is that, is somebody giving me the hurt or am I creating the hurt? What do you think? Answer yourselves. Is somebody giving the hurt with their words or actions, or you are creating the hurt? The answer is, the truth is, I am creating the hurt, because external situation, if it's too hot, too cold, I don't have any control. If the other person is upset or wantedly or unwantedly hurting me, I don't have any control. But I am the master of my thoughts and my feelings. So I choose to be well through all the tests of life at my will. So I am made of peace. I am made of happiness. So I only radiate that happiness to me and to the other person also. And once they're happy, they don't have any reason to make the other person unhappy for their happiness. So I have to give a pause to think nobody's hurting me. It's my feelings that are hurting me. If I change my thoughts and my feelings, I can be the master of my own thoughts. And guilt is another major thing that we all go through sometimes. And here, guilt causes rheumatoid arthritis. I read somewhere. I was like, how come guilt causes rheumatoid arthritis? But guilt is like I lack love. If you take the word illness, I-L-L, illness, I lack love. If we lack love for ourselves, if we cannot love ourselves, if we cannot accept ourselves as we are, then we are stuck there. So the body is also trying to attack its own body. So emotionally, if we don't love ourselves, if we don't accept ourselves, it's a big problem. So once we disconnect from our actions of guilt and from our mistakes and actions, if we free ourselves from those chains, then we can move forward, then we can be happy and we learn from the mistake and not to repeat it. Again, with every negative emotion, we have to make sure what it is causing wrong things to us, what is the root cause for that, and what is the antidote for that from our spiritual immune system. And in challenging circumstances also, we have to think about that again, external circumstances, no control for us. What we can control is our own selves. So reaction happens if we are under the influence of the situation, and it will be a weaker thing. And response comes with our inner strength from being in a state of being powerful. So I heard this somewhere. We have to keep in mind always, if we are weak, the situation becomes strong. If we are little strong, the situation becomes a challenge. If we are strong enough, the situation becomes an opportunity. So it's always in my hands whether I make the situation stronger or myself stronger. And the reality and the fact is, I am stronger, I am powerful. So quick thing on this experiment. So Dr. Emoto, a Japanese scientist, he studied the effect of emotions on the water molecules. He studied it for so many years and the result came out very beautiful. He did it with magnetic resonance analysis technology and high-speed photographs. I think it's too small, but if you can see, all these molecules, when they are exposed to love and gratitude, the first one, it's so beautiful molecule. The second one, eternal. The feelings, they put the water in different rooms, and in one room, when they go, they give the emotions of love and gratitude and peace and happiness, and in the other room they give only the feelings of sadness or depression or hurt or jealousy. And they noticed that the water molecules exposed to love, peace and happiness turned out to be very beautiful creations, and in the left side, these two things, they are exposed to negative emotions. So that tells us how powerful these emotions are, and we cannot neglect them. Positive emotions are very powerful as well as these negative emotions, and 70% of our human body is made of water. So if we can experiment with these positive emotions by charging the water every day, when we drink water, we drink it with love, we drink it with gratitude, we fill it with vibrations of peace, the whole body will become the same also. So lastly, we need to know the methods to boost physical and spiritual immune system. As we discussed earlier also, for the body, good food is very, very important, right? The rainbow color of foods that we discussed, the vitamin C, vitamin E, green vegetables, ginger, turmeric, all these things, they help us to boost the physical immunity. Similarly, good food for the inner being is the pure and positive thoughts and the good reading every day. If we read something good and spiritual, that's the good food for the inner being. And discipline is one of the most important things, and determination and discipline is the basis to get anything of this. If we want to eat good food or exercise, anything, we need to be very, very disciplined. So that's the first thing. And the next thing is exercise regularly also increases physical immune system. So in the same way, for the inner being, exercise is also important. And the inner being exercise is meditation. It should happen on waking up and before sleep, and every hour. If we just give a pause for 1 minute and come to the consciousness of I am that peaceful being, I am filled with love, these kind of thoughts if we give, we become stronger and stronger. And cleanliness is always the good thing to have physical immunity. Same way, cleanliness of mind also. We don't want to keep anything unwanted in our mind, the guilt, hatred, gossip. We don't want anything negative in our mind. And a lot of supplements, vitamins, micronutrients are needed. Similarly, we need all these virtues and vitamins and powers to help us increase our spiritual immune system. And fasting is one of the most important things that they teach us. Fasting of food, fasting of junk food, and fasting of breath also they say is important. In pranayama they tell us to do how slow breathing helps the body. Similarly, fasting from negative thoughts is the most important thing for boosting our spiritual immune system. So how do we increase our spiritual immune system? Is meditation is a great way, and I would say the only way to increase our spiritual immune system. The literal meaning of the word meditation itself, there are a lot of meanings, to contemplate or to reflect or some of the meanings, but one meaning of the word meditation, the Latin word medere, is to heal. This is to heal the inner being, the soul, which automatically strengthens the outer being. And healing starts happening when we educate our mind to focus on the inner being. We have to take time to focus on the inner being and to visit the inner peace, the inner happiness every day, starting from the morning, and recharge that battery of that soul. And that recharge happens by connecting ourselves to the supreme source of these virtues. As we all know, we all human beings, we all are looking for something or the other. So we can't just expect all these things from our own family or work or people around us. We can get this by connecting ourselves to the spiritual powerhouse, our Supreme Father, the Divine Father, God, who is the ocean of all these virtues. So if we connect our inner being with that Supreme Being, then we can download and then we can absorb all those virtues. So Raj Yoga meditation is connecting our inner being with the higher source, who is the ocean of all these virtues, and we can draw the powers from him. It's actually a science. It's a proven science of emerging these original qualities and use them in our every interaction. So basically, Raj Yoga meditation helps us to shift from wanting peace, love, and happiness to being that peace, to being that power and love and radiating it to all. We don't become just full ourselves, and we start radiating it outwards, and automatically whatever we send out in the cosmos will come back to us. So we shift from wanting to being it and radiating it by connecting to the source, our Father, who is the ocean of the virtues. So quick Introduction of our organization, BRAHMAKUMARIS World Spiritual Organization. It's a non-profit organization founded in 1937. We have a global presence in 130 countries with more than 8,000 centers and over 1 million practicing members worldwide. And the motto is to share this spiritual knowledge that enables self-transformation and thereby world transformation. The focus always is on the self. Once we transform the self, automatically the world gets transformed. And the motto is also to cultivate a deep collective consciousness of peace and individual dignity of each being. And it helps individuals transform their perspective from the material to spiritual world. And in the local center, we have it in Silicon Valley in Milpitas. It's led by our dear sister Kusum Kejriwal. She has been our director for the center for 25 years, and she has given this knowledge of meditation and this knowledge to thousands of people and changed thousands of lives, including myself. So we offer at our center free Raj Yoga meditation courses, seminars and now webinars in this lockdown time, events and kids living values, parenting classes and retreats. And the location is there, 540 S.Abel St, Milpitas. And website, you can visit us at SV, which stands for Silicon Valley, svbrahmakumaris.org. And email is contact@svbrahmakumaris.org. And the upcoming events, next weekend we have seminar around the same time, 18th April, 12 to 1, on take the stress out of habit, which is much needed for us right now. And the other thing is we have Raj Yoga meditation courses online starting from April 18th, 19th, 25th and 26th. And timings are 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. PST. And we have live meditation with audio video commentaries every day evening. It is for beginners also. It's for people who did not take the meditation course yet also. And they have really good audio video commentaries which help through. And it's from 7:30 to 8 p.m. PST. And please register all these events at svbrahmakumaris.org.